Hola, beautifuls. I'm your host, Benika, and you are now watching The Benny Way. Today, I want to talk to y'all about doing inventory, which to me is doing the work, as you can see for the title. So, normally, I try to be very cautious of where my attention is, but today I am going to be reading a few things from my notes, so I will be looking down here and there. So over the past couple months, I have realized and recognized that inventory is like a very large theme for me right now. It's something that I've been unconsciously doing for maybe a few years, but now it's been brought to my attention by myself that that's what I've been doing, and I want to share it because I think it's very important for us to do just moving forward in our lives, which is why I call it doing the work. I just wanted to write down a few of the benefits of doing inventory. And what I believe is that your self-awareness will increase because it's cool to keep track of things, but it's different when you're keeping track, like on paper. You're able to maintain better focus on yourself and your goals. You get to dig out the weeds of your life, whether it be people, bad habits, whatever. And you get to stay on a steady, progressive track moving forward in your life. I believe you can do inventory on literally anything in your life, but here are just a few examples that I take inventory on that I think would be useful as well for you to do. First things first, the biggest thing that you can keep inventory with is the things you are grateful for. I watched a lot of people suggest that we have gratitude journals. I don't necessarily have a gratitude journal, like specifically for it, which moving forward with all the things that I need to categorize, I'm gonna do that. But I do have gratitude all throughout all my notebooks just because, I mean, I guess some will call it like a diary entry, but I really do like to just list out the things I'm grateful for. I feel like they multiply when you bring recognition to them. So that would be the first thing that I keep inventory on. Sometimes we're so caught up in life, we forget to like slow down because we'd be stressed about this one thing, but we be forgetting all of these other blessings we have. So I think that's important with taking inventory is taking inventory of what you're grateful for. Do you have water to drink today? Do you have food to consume? Do you have a phone, a charger, a toilet? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we take the small stuff for granted, but if you're keeping inventory on it, you're not. The next thing I think that you should take inventory on is your behavior change. I believe that we should all be continuously changing, including myself, of course. Just improving, getting better, watching how we handle things, watching how we handle people, watching how we maneuver. The next thing that you should take inventory on is your circle, the people around you. This does not mean check off the list if they're doing stuff for you, but you can take inventory of if the relationship is reciprocated, whether it be in love, whether it be in communication, whether it be in how much they have your back, not how much they have your back, but just keep track of who does have your back. Keep track of who does give a listening ear to you when you need it. Keep track of who is always inviting you to do things that are low frequency. Like, let's be real, because we got them friends that we know we could turn up with and it's fun, but you need to take inventory of that. You need to check that and make sure that you are aware of that, because sometimes, like I said, if you're not putting it on paper, you really don't realize it because you're just moving. Putting things on paper is kind of like pausing time to me, to to look and reflect and check and blah, blah, blah. So the next thing is new lessons that you're learning. Sometimes we get to certain stages of our life where, okay, we've learned this. Okay, we learned that. It's good to take inventory on that so you can just, one, remind yourself of the new lessons, and two, just so you can keep track. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we forget the cool things that we're learning because we're so caught up, like I said, in living. But doing inventory brings it all back to you. It gives you all that self-awareness that you need so you can keep moving forward. Sometimes we backtrack because we forget what we done learned. Also, inventory of your finances. It really doesn't matter how much money you have. I believe you can always have more. So a good way to do that is taking inventory of what you spend your money on, who you spend your money with, where you spend your money, how much of your money that you spend. Take inventory of your projects. All of us are creatives, whether we are tapped into that or not, but we're all creatives. A lot of us should be or could be or will be dropping projects. And that can range from anything. Like, hopefully you understand how broad of a subject project is, but that's a good thing to take inventory on. If you are meeting the deadlines, the requirements that you need, blase, make sure you're staying on track with that. Your priorities. That is something to take inventory on. Sometimes we need to go back to the drawing board on our priorities. When you're having a lot of fun and it's money in your pocket, it's cool, right? But are you following your priorities? Could you be doing more with your life? I don't know. That's for you to take inventory of. Next, your values. Your values kind of go hand in hand with your priorities because, based off your value system, you're going to be moving that way with your priorities. So, like, if you value quality time with your friends and family, maybe you go out a lot because, like, you value that time with them up here over pursuing your purpose. I don't know. Like, it's a list of values. That'll be another video to understand what your value system is, because I actually just read a book that brought to the light what mine is. So the last thing, not the last thing, but just the last thing that I'm going to touch on that you should keep inventory of is your self-love days or self-love moments that you give yourself. It's good to take inventory because you can look back and be like, wow, this month I only went to the nail shop. This month I only took a bubble bath once and meditated with myself, or whatever self-love for you is. I only shopped. I got some new shoes. You know what I'm saying? That was self-love. Check it off the list. Cool. So next, here are some questions to ask yourself when you're like journaling and doing your inventory, just in case we have some like how-tos out there. Like, okay, we're supposed to take inventory. How are we supposed to do it? I know what it's supposed to be on, or I know some subjects I can take inventory on, but what should I be asking myself when I'm doing my inventory list? So here are just a few questions. Not all of these necessarily go with every single one I just said, but these are just important questions that hopefully you can make other questions out of from those questions. Cool. So what are you grateful for? Like I said, I do that a lot. I will write like, what am I grateful for? And then I just fill up the page, or however you want to do it. It's up to you. But I would advise that be the first thing you're taking inventory of when you decide to sit down and do inventory, because that's just a daily thing that we should do. Give gratitude. What makes you happy or sad or mad? This is good to ask yourself for real, because sometimes we don't know. Like, we know when the moment arises, but it's cooler to have a full self-evaluation, on paper, so that you know you better than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? What can you change or focus on more for your well-being? We're all in our 20s. Not we're all. Oh my God. This is definitely a video for everyone of all ages. So let me take that back. I'm in my 20s. A lot of my peers are in their 20s. So I know that right now we may think it's like time for fun, which it is. Don't get me wrong. But this is also a good time and a good opportunity to set up an empire for yourself. So a good thing to keep inventory on is understanding what you focus on now and what you can do better. What are your goals, short-term and long-term? Short-term goals, I probably do this at least once a month. You know, just write out a thing of my goals, like, because it is cool to keep like a goal sheet with you. I know that some people that I follow and learn from, they like have a thing where they wrote down their list of goals and they keep it with them everywhere they go and reflect on it. And I like that. But I think sometimes our goals change or improve. So it's nice to take inventory of that. It's nice to rewrite your goals, rewrite your, you know, objectives for the week or month or year or 5 years, whatever you like. But I think it's good to keep inventory of that. Next, what are you spending your money on? This is a really good one if right now you're building yourself, because I know everybody's in different money situations. Some people are not at a point in their life where they care how they spend their money because maybe they're acquiring a lot of it. That's cool. And maybe some of us are running through money too fast and we need more of it and we don't understand what's happening. So, inventory. You know what I'm saying? Inventory. What are you spending your money on? Who are you spending your money with? You can get as deep as you want. So here's another one that I think is really good. What emotions are you currently feeling and what reasons contributed to them? A lot of us have baggage. A lot of us are carrying emotions from old situations. We don't look at it that way because we're sometimes being present with our emotions, not being present in the moment, but being present with our emotions. So sometimes we're carried off and carried away with what we're feeling. So doing inventory can help bring to the light maybe past traumas that you're holding on to, maybe past events that you're holding on to. Because if you wake up mad, you can't say because my alarm clock went off. That wouldn't be a good inventory answer. You'd have to end up digging deep and figuring out, why am I waking up mad? You know, maybe when you were growing up, somebody used to wake you up in a mean way and you've just held on to that. I don't know. It's for you to do your own inventory. Just wanted to give an example. Next, I think this is a really good one because I know a lot of people with this dilemma. List things that you think are roadblocks to your happiness and why. I feel like when I talk to people, their heads are in interesting places and they think their happiness is determined by some external force. Maybe you should take time to do inventory on why you think that. Maybe you should think about how you were raised and how you were raised on, you know, what makes you happy anyway, you know? Because some families might teach their kids how happy and grateful it is to just have a roof over your head. And some people may be raised to only feel happy when they're getting a lot of gifts. Who knows? Do your inventory on why certain things can block your happiness. Because really nothing can block your happiness but you. But until you get to a point where you recognize that, do inventory on what you think blocks happiness for you. If you don't feel happy right now, like completely. So that's the questions that I have. Feel free to comment more questions for the next person. If you do this, I think it's an amazing tactic for sure. I think this really helps you keep track of your mindset, which is good. Because if you're looking at it on the paper and you're like, wow, I'm negative as hell, you can make the change. You know what I'm saying? It's easier to make changes when we can see things, which is why we're probably always trying to change other people and tell them what's wrong, because you can look at it. But yourself, it's easier to look at yourself on paper. Figuratively, at least. I mean, obviously I can go in here and look in the mirror and see how wonderful I look. But to me, doing the work is the process of exploring your inner self. The process of uncovering every part of you that has been repressed, rejected, and undiscovered daily. I know you probably hear a lot of people, or at least on my timeline, because the type of people I follow, but they're always talking about do the work, do the work. Nobody's saying get up and go to work. Well, yeah, that too, I guess. But doing the work means practice. To me, it means practice. We all want to be happier. We all want to have a good relationship. We all want to have peace in our lives. We all want to have money. Do the work. There's real life ways to achieve everything you've dreamed of. You just have to go out there and get it. Go out there and learn it. We're not taught that it's like a formula for happiness, a formula for self-love, a formula for attracting the right partner. But I'm here to tell you that it is. This is not some you're magically blessed with everything. No. I mean, God is gracious. Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure we all have a little more than we deserve. But do we? I feel like we get what we deserve straight up. God is just like a little over gracious. Like, he's like, all right, she deserves some, but I'm going to give her an extra 2 seconds of blessing poor. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, you have to do the work. You know, I feel like a lot of people have jealousy or anger, or they feel competitive, or y'all have like these weird emotions going on in your head. But all of that just means you're avoiding the work. Because you wouldn't get angry at anybody else's success if you understood what they took to get there. We think stuff is just handed to people. And granted, sometimes it is. But sometimes people are just deserving. You don't know what people are doing in their off time, in their time where they're not showing what they're doing. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? This video may be however long it's going to be. I don't know. But you don't know how much work I did to accumulate the knowledge for this video. I didn't just watch one video and I feel like a guru. You know what I'm saying? I've been reading. I've been studying. I've been doing the work. And I'm just here to tell you that all of you can do it too. It's not easy. It does require shadow work. I feel like the beginning of doing the work is doing the shadow work, which is understanding why you are the way you are, ultimately. I don't believe everyone necessarily has childhood traumas, but a good 80% of us do, if not 90%. They're obviously not the same. But we all have weird reasons for the way we tick. And you have to do the work and uncover that. Not make your environment adjust to that. Because that's not cool. If you are the I'ma be me person, this is a wake-up call that do you even know who you are that you're being? Or are you being this ego that you created, you know, along all of these events that you've had to go through in your life? Like, are you being you? Because that's what doing the work is, honestly, discovering the true you, the true bright and shining, happy soul that's within you. Are you really tuned into that? You know what I'm saying? Some of us need to learn the difference between our ego and our higher self, because they can't coexist. You can only feed one of the wolves, straight up, you know? So, yeah, I believe it's time to do the work, get serious about becoming a better person. Money and things and whatever else that people are into come with that. You becoming a better you is a package deal for everything else in your life becoming better. So, you know, everything is not constant. These variables that we like to implement are not constant, but in your life, you are constant. So, you know, do the work so that you can be able to live with yourself, so that you can pass on something great, you know. Don't be afraid to do what's better for you, even if other people around you aren't, because at the end of the day, you're not going to regret doing the best you can do for you. So do the work. It's not easy. Most things in life aren't. But that's okay, because you were built for this. Straight up. Thank you for tuning in today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Benuway. Follow me on Instagram. Yeah, reach out. Let me know how you feel. I'm always here to listen. I'm always here to learn. And have a great day. I appreciate you for tuning in today. That was great. This was great. I'm grateful. Don't forget to do your inventory. I don't have a time limit, I don't think. Whenever you feel it's necessary, you know?